finances on how to.
In progress.
So many things we can invest. That's what Chris always makes sure we're in.
Chris is doing an excellent job. In my opinion.
Yes.
Wish we could.
I don't think we're gonna have, there's gonna be different groups initially next year to do it. And I'm not sure the same goal is gonna pass the good is. So that the guarantees defined.
It was to, the original intent was to not let them put it all in one stock. And then they stock go bankrupt, and then you're left with that. You know, and
Investment policy statement with Chamber Foundation. And he's modern investment. What the thing written back in the early '60s. And interest rates were higher and also.
Here's our business. That's why
It's state laws got us. By the way, calling them. Verification.
You don't have to sit on the last row.
Is there a password?
yes, it is.
to the
Capital
left.
C-O-H and then G for guest, and then 99. So capital C, capital O, capital H.
They're that old, yeah. Mark did
Guest.
that.
Guest.
And so the G in guest is capitalized as well.
Okay.
So it should look something like that.
Ready?
Anything else?
Okay, got it.
If that doesn't get you in, let me know.
Yeah.
I have to double check. It's been so long. I'm just tied to the enterprise version. Sure, guest.
Okay, it is past 12 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting to order. And the first order of business is we will approve the minutes of October 29th, 2020. Oh, roll call, I'm sorry.
Larry Phillips,
Present.
Luke Figert,
Here.
Mary Spees,
I'm here.
John Weir,
Here.
and Patricia Burnick. Excellent.
Now the first order of business, we will approve the minutes of October 29th, 2025.
Make a motion. Make a motion. We approve the minutes as presented.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye. You good?
Okay. Now, we originally talked about succession of members of on the committee, there are requirements on who has to be on the committee. And then there are two at-large members, and we wanted to discuss how to replace those. And I think you had done a resolution. Can you explain how we want to move that forward?
Well, again, this is up for discussion. The way I did it was basically in line with the last one, except for rather than having people named, it would have the 20th Century Club, someone on the board, the city finance person, and then two at-large members. And that's, I know that's what you are.
Yeah, I'm an at-large.
And I believe Patricia is that other at-large. So we were just trying to make sure it didn't have two specific names in there for that part of it. And then having terms of, we can discuss 4 years, 6 years. I don't really care. It's just, we needed to probably have some sort of term limit in there. And then that way they can come, if they come back up, but we want to renew, that's fine. If we want to do something different, people can nominate that, and it's typically a suggestion to the mayor and the mayor's appointment at that point.
So if John or Patricia decide, I don't know why they would, but if they decide they would not want to serve, then we would just, we would make suggestions to the mayor, and he would bring that to council.
He would bring that to council to appoint
Just like
those two at-large people, just like all of our
all
other
the other
boards.
committees, okay,
It,
other boards.
I think there was a question about what was meant by in any way become unable to serve in the majority opinion. What does that mean? Because I think that needs to be clarified. I mean, if somebody had an unpopular opinion of the majority, does that mean the majority can vote them out, or that you see what I'm saying?
Sure.
I think
And
that may need to be clarified, just.
I don't remember putting that specific in there. I assumed it was either in the previous one or just some sort of standard language I had grabbed. So we can definitely either define that, or if we need to take that part out, it's,
I just think it could be problematic at some point, if we got into a big disagreement. I mean, so far nobody's gotten in a big disagreement, but
Yeah.
you never know. I mean, it says in any way become unable to serve in the majority opinion of the city council. I mean, I can see the trustees die, they resign. That's certainly fine, I would think. That's just the only
It
part.
sounds like if there's somebody on there that you want, they could kick off to read it that way.
yeah, we can adjust that.
Okay,
however
if we could take that out, I think that would be
No problem.
a little
Good point.
better.
or if you're seeking comment, I have a couple.
Okay.
Just, I've been thinking about this a lot since it was first proposed, and as a at-large member, I think that it really makes sense to do what we're doing. Um, I, I have been a member of this group for ad infinitum, a long time, since I was on the council a long time ago, and chairman of the cemetery committee, and I guess no mayor since then has seen fit to get rid of my sorry rear end. So I hope that this has been recorded. I'm sorry. In any case, I'm happy to serve. However, it just seems to me that from time to time, we need some different faces and fresh blood and different thoughts. And so the idea of the at-large people maybe being maybe initially who is it, Patricia and I, okay. Maybe we draw for a X and X term and then kind of get it on a rolling thing.
You could stagger it.
And maybe have a staggered kind of thing for maybe, you mentioned 4, 5, 6. I'm thinking 3, 4, 5. I don't know. Council people are they 4-year, 2-year terms? That seems a little short to me. 4 or 5 seems a little long to me. I don't know. 3 or 4 seems like it's kind of Goldilocks, not too short, not too long, just about right. But those are just my opinions, my thoughts. I think to stagger the at-large terms might make some sense, and to do it for a 3 or 4-year term might be sensible. I don't know. I'm just shooting from the hip.
I'll make a suggestion that we go ahead and maybe take out that sentence, in any way become unable to serve the majority opinion of the city council. Maybe remove that sentence and then come back with maybe a rolling term of 4 and 5 years, one person be 4, one person be 5. And just correct this in our next meeting, then we could look at it. Maybe.
Yeah, I can take that out right now. I mean, I've got that part up.
Okay.
It just says, should any of the above trustees die or resign, such terms shall be filled by their successor or office.
Yes.
So, Ms. Patricia, you thought one term should be 4 and one term should be 5?
That way you kind of roll them,
Okay,
or 3 and 4, just, I don't know what's common to do.
Typically, that's, in our experience, it's been done to try to maintain people on the board so that way they have some knowledge of what's going on.
Sure.
With having 3 specific people appointed, typically there's going to be a good knowledge, but where it says the 2 citizens at large, I can change that to say 1 for a period of 4 years and then another for a period of 5 years. Is that?
I think that would be good. That way you kind of, if somebody wants off or the mayor wants to appoint someone else in the at-large, that would give sort of some continuity of the 5-year person would be there long enough to know what was going on.
What about the 20th Century Club? How do you see that?
We have an active 20th century member, just like we have in the past.
And so, are you putting term limits on that as well? Okay.
You
So
can
they
stay
would,
forever.
I don't know. Thank
wouldn't
you.
the 20th Century Club just appoint their own
Yes,
person and,
We have bylaws on that that says that the chairman of the cemetery committee would always represent 20th Century Club on.
and that person, if I understand it correctly, may change from time to time?
It could, it could.
On this, it talks about and his or her elected successor member. So whoever the your appointed person or their successor would be appointed to this.
Any other comments on that?
no. No, thank you. I appreciate allowing me to comment.
Well, those are good points. Thank you.
So that one that's appointed for 5 years, the next time that's appointed will be for another 5 years. So at 20 years down the road, we'll have them in the same year roughly. But that's okay. I mean, we should have enough.
In 20 years, Christine will fix them.
If you get Christine to stay here another 20 years, you'll be here.
Here for 20.
You can't leave, Christine.
I won't be here in 20 years either.
We'll stay.
I don't think I will. So we're good on that? Okay. And on budget and investments, I did ask Chris for a just a brief synopsis of how we are. He said we're basically the accounts are at 1,000,009, pretty much where we were last year. And he thought with the changes we made, we are overall the portfolio value is roughly the same as we were last year. And even though we have taken out 114,000 has been withdrawn in the past 12 years. And we are currently he thought, at a strong stance. So, and because last year, I think we were concerned, because when we go out for bid in August, September, what we're currently paying is very economical, but it's not going to be anywhere close to what we anticipate the bids to come back at. So we'll have to look at that, and depending on what the bids come back at, it's hard to say, but probably double what we currently are paying. We may have to, and there are restrictions on the state restricts what we can withdraw and what we can't withdraw from these accounts. So if we do not earn enough money, the city would be responsible. And at the next budgeting, we might have to put a line item in the budget. Is that correct?
Is correct.
Has the city ever had to make up the shortfalls in the past, or do you know?
Honestly, that was kind of news to me on part of it. So, it's been a while since we have had to, we've always just reimbursed. And this year we made plenty of money to cover everything. So that wasn't, an issue.
What would refresh my memory, I have to ask this every time, I'm afraid, about what is the expense of the maintenance and for the year.
Well, for last year,
Yeah.
we were at roughly $74,000.
74.
Yes, and that's with the contract being 50, we paid out $52,000. Of course, the fees that are associated with the investments.
Yeah.
That totaled most of the rest of it, about 20,000. And then maybe not quite 20,000. We had a few utilities operating supplies, insurance. Um. So. it's a
Mid
big charges.
seventies.
Yeah,
And then Larry, you had suggested that maybe we're gonna be twice that for the,
I think depending on what the bids are gonna come back, yeah.
right, okay.
And Chris has been very gracious on his fees.
I know
as
for
far
a
as-
fact he's cut those way as far
Yeah.
almost as.
So that has helped a lot. Chris has done a good job for us.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and just, I mean, I'm in the same business as Chris, of course, and knowing the state laws on limitations of the investment portfolio being what they are, and we were just talking before the meeting started. I mean, there are ways to produce more income, but they're not allowed under the limitations of the state law, so you know, our hands are tied, and our Chris's hands are tied,
Right.
and ours collectively in terms of the investments, so. And interest rates are helping us a little. Rates have moved up just a skosh, but not much. And, the equity market's pretty rich and a little volatile right now, so. Anyway, enough of that.
Maybe I have a question on those expenditures that you were talking about. I think it helps us to understand more, or give us a better idea of what's going on, other than just saying, you know, if we could really understand and see where it goes, I think that would help us understand.
I'll send
better.
you a P&L, for the last 5 years. if that
That
works.
P&L that you talked about, I don't think we really understood
So you
that.
got revenues and you got expenditures down here. So you'll be able to see how much we're bringing in versus how much
Okay.
we're having to spend on stuff.
Perhaps that'd be a good thing
Yeah.
to start meeting, we'd like to see that.
And then I had a question. I mean, I think the mowing contract has been very reasonable, but is that put out for bid or do we know?
Should be.
it is put out for bid.
It is put out for bid.
And it's this year that the contract, he's gonna mow this year, and then the contract comes due in September or August. They'll.
Of this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
For next year.
So is the cost that they're charging the same this year as it was last year, or is there a
Yes.
built-in jump? Okay, because I know gas prices, diesel prices are through the roof.
Yeah, and what we have is very, very good. Probably too good, so.
One other question. On Chris's account, remember several, I guess it was last year, we established a checking account.
Mhm.
That we could use in an emergency. I'd like to see, have we ever used that, and who gets to use that?
That checking account is really just more, it's not really an emergency. It's easier for them to put money in that account and then for us to withdraw it out of that account to reimburse the general fund for the expenses.
Who has the power to do that,
To request,
to withdraw, whose name was on the signature?
I usually have to call them or one of my staff has to call them and say, hey, we need this much to request to offset the expenses that we've already paid.
And who approves that?
Well, usually when we request it, they send it. We've not had a specific approval process through there. Again,
How
that's,
much is it usually? I mean, is it?
well, we typically only try to request once or twice a year. And so we're requesting, I mean, sometimes it's 50,000, sometimes it's 60, sometimes it's 30.
Is that what we're requesting? The amount of the bid?
We're requesting to offset those expenses that I was talking about.
Once again, I think it'd be
Yeah.
wise if we could see that and maybe understand what it was, what we spent it for. I think that kind of knowledge will be.
I mean, I don't think anybody's doing anything untoward, but I
Oh,
think our
no.
due diligence, I think we have some responsibility to due diligence to look at what the expenditures are.
You go grab that, the printer. The finance, yeah. I just printed the last 4 years. It popped up here, so.
So, just for clarification, so Chris, McNutt is there a money fund he's directing some income into that you can draw upon?
Yes, yeah.
And the purposes of that, as I understand it, are just so that we don't have to step in and liquidate securities to raise that cash. Of course, the downside of that is that cash sits over in a money market fund of some sort. Right now, I suspect it's in one of 3 or 4 different funds that's got about a 3%, which is better than a bank account, which a bank account will get us 0 or 0.1 or something like that. But at least you've got access pretty darn quick to the.
Yeah, that's, we request it from them and he's able to access that quicker.
Yeah.
Than trying to sell off some stocks and potentially doing it at a loss because you need it at that specific
I
time.
think at a board meeting, we approved
Yeah,
that.
we did.
Yeah,
So-
the process there simply is that if Luke needs cash for reimbursement purposes quickly, and and Chris McNew has to request it from the money managers who are managing, thank you, various and sundry strategies, it takes a few days for those money managers to react and sell at correct asset values or the best they can. And so, at least that's what I think is going on.
And he mentioned something about moving the interest that we gain on it over to that
Yeah.
versus, changing our investment strategy. So,
Yeah.
what you're looking at here, there's 4 years. The top part is interest and the gain on our investments. As you'll see, that's actually gain or loss. So we can gain and we can lose on our investments. And so obviously 2022 was not our finer year. We lost a bunch of money that year. And so those expenses moving forward will have to come directly out of the general fund and there will be 0 expenses aside from the fees that would come out of that.
Yeah, and it's not my job to do this, but I will comment on Luke's comment about 2022 being a pretty tough year. There are 4 numbers that stick in my head that I share with clients from time to time. In 2022, the Dow Jones Industrial Average for the year was down 13%. The S&P 500 stock index was down 16%. The NASDAQ stock index was down 20%. And here's the one that people do not ever remember. The Barclays Aggregate Bond Index. Now, that's an index of bonds, not did anything to do with the stock market. It was down 13% that year. So bonds can get hit market wise just like stocks can. And we are required, I think it's somewhere around 75 or 80% of our portfolio has to be in the bond market.
I believe it's 75.
75, I think. So, it was a tough year.
So these last 3 years, though, we've had enough to cover everything. It's just if we have another year like 2022, then all expenses would be paid out of the general fund.
Am I correct that all of the earnings go into that checking account or a portion of the earnings or all, do you know?
I think it's a portion. You're talking about the money market account where
Right.
we can withdraw.
Withdraw.
Yeah. I think it's a portion. I don't think all of it goes. I think some of it's reinvested. I'd have to defer to Chris on that 100%.
Yeah, Chris will know. I don't have any idea.
We might be needing one before this is all over with.
Sure.
By the way, just so you know, you don't want to go laying this around somewhere. Those numbers that Luke has, the ESM, EMM, EBR, those are account numbers. So kind of keep this one close to the vest.
Yeah. We'll if you'll give them back to me, we'll shred them after this meeting.
Very good. Know why you have them there.
Gotta know which
If you
account to put them
don't
into.
right, you do.
Any more questions about the,
No, thank you.
okay. Okay. And we have a headstone repair grant update. Do we have any information about that?
Headstone repair grant, somebody working with NWAEDD.
The former employee.
I know Courtney, Roberts is at her, I think that's.
She-
Yes,
It's a $10,000
yes.
$10,000 grant we can get yearly. Now, the city cannot get it, but a private group can. Is that correct?
It's already been turned into the state
Right. So, and it's for
for them to award whoever,
to repair headstones, excuse me. And
like, look, it's like I wasn't involved in it.
that is for, which cemetery are we gonna,
Roseville,
okay, we're gonna start with Rose Hill. Okay,
It has been submitted.
it was submitted, it had to be in by, I think, March the 17th. But Courtney said she had sent it in, and then they will review them all, and then they will let you know if you were awarded a grant.
and it's $10,000 and you can apply yearly. Or you can apply more than once.
You can apply every year.
And there was a match, and you
Yeah.
go through the match.
Yeah.
I apologize, I just assumed
That's
I
right.
wouldn't be here, we can have it next time.
Yeah.
That's
So
fine. Yeah.
we'll get that.
I think we're just waiting, like you said, everything's been turned in. We're just waiting to hear back. So.
She said there's nothing, to do till they.
Okay.
Who's going to get their.
And
Yeah.
Rose Hill is now on the historical register.
That's why we can get the grant.
And
Correct.
the ceremony was phenomenal and it was well done and the plaque looks great. So we appreciate all the work. Okay, any new business? Anything anyone wants to bring up? Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, but we did talk meeting before last about perhaps having a cleanup day for Rose Hill. And there are some trees that should just go in into the left, some very big trees that the limbs are falling. So I was gonna ask what the proposal, what are y'all gonna, what's the plan for Rose Hill and I guess Maplewood for the future of the trees? If that, okay, do you have you know when that might be? Do you know when that might be?
Now, we have today's.
Okay, that's good. And the cleanup day, is that something we'll look at for later on down the spring?
Yes. We will go to work on that.
Just trying to find a day to do that. Is that what our? Is that where our plan is? Okay.
We will need, Wade, I think we can get a dumpster, not a dumpster, but a roll off. Can you get that done? Okay. And on Tim said they would go to Speaks Cemetery and trim the fence, trim all that, growth out of the fence. And get that done. So we'll get that done. But they do clean it a couple times a year, so. But they have not done the fence yet or recently, so, but he said he would get it done for us. And he's great at what he does, so he will get it done for us. Okay, anything?
I don't have anything else.
Mr. Phillips, I don't know if this is important, but Nita Gould did Zoom in just a moment ago, and I didn't know if she had anything to bring to your board.
Is she on
Thank-
there where she can speak?
I'm here, but thank you. I don't have anything. I'm sorry I joined late and I think I missed part of the meeting. I will catch up.
Can you hear us, Ms. Gould?
Yes, can you hear me? I'm not sure if you can hear me. Can you not hear me? Can you hear me?
You were breaking up very badly.
I'm sorry. Here. I can hear you. I joined the meeting late. I'm meeting.
We could get her to call in, maybe. I don't know if she'd call in. We could put her on speaker up here.
I just emailed Tim, or excuse me, Jim. Jim. I'm sorry, the connection is poor.
No one is able to hear what you're saying, Miss Gould. It's just broken very badly.
James Luke suggested to see if she can call in.
Does anybody have her number that would be willing to, because I don't have her number, I'm sorry. Or if we could call her, we could do that. I don't mind to give her a call on my cell phone.
She said, he texted me, she said, tell him I have nothing to say.
Well, okay, then.
Oh, I heard that.
I think we're okay.
Sure. Anything else? Any other? Do they have comments?
Anything?
But you didn't have any questions or anything? Or comment, okay. No problem, okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
No comments or questions.
Okay, guys, with no further business, motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.